All right, guys, so it is officially real day in the lifetime. It is currently 10:30 a.m. And right now we are using the front-facing camera of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And of course, this is shooting in 4K. Thankfully, the new front-facing camera supports 4K at 30 frames per second and even 60 frames per second, right? But we don't do that here. So we are going to be doing a lot of stuff in the house today. The man cave is getting an update, and you guys are gonna come along with us. Now, before we get down there, guys, do not judge. This place is a work in progress, and it's kind of crazy down here. All right, guys, so this is something I didn't really want to show, but I'm gonna show you guys anyway. This is the current man cave, and it is an absolute wreck in here. Yes, I know there's a lot to clean up in here, but before we get to all that good stuff, my boy Jared keeps hitting me up asking me for pictures of a Gundam that he built me, an amazing Gundam. So Jared and I spent a long time trying to get this Gundam inside of this case because of how big it is. So I'm going to take it out of the case. He's probably watching and freaking out right now, but don't worry, man, I got this. Boom! Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. So it handles the highlights pretty well. So the white parts don't look overexposed. And with the shadowy areas, even though they're pretty dark, I can still make out the details. So if I wanted to go ahead and edit this in post and, you know, kind of put my own flair on it, I have all the stuff that I need to get a really good image. Let me show you guys. When you want to take a really nice photo, you want something to seem like it's a really big deal, you gotta use the wide angle lens. Now, you might think, oh, this looks too small here. But what you do is you get really close and you can exaggerate certain things. Boom. Check out how huge that sword looks. So that's kind of like the cool thing about a wide angle lens. Not only is it good for like landscapes, but you can also make things look really grand. Now there's a cool feature that the iPhones have now that you might not know about, and that is this guy right here. You're able to capture photos outside of the frame. And this is something that is off on by default, and you gotta toggle it on. And basically what this is going to do is if you take a photo with, let's say, the regular wide angle lens, you'll be able to get that photo, and the camera will also take a photo with the ultra wide angle lens. So you get two photos at once. Pretty cool feature, very handy. And although you know this will take up more space since it's taking two photos, if you don't use it to make any changes, in 30 days, it'll delete the extra shot that you took so that it's not eating up your storage. Something that Apple's been talking about with their new cameras is that with the 3 lenses, they say that you should be able to switch between the 3 of them and not notice a huge shift in color. Only thing you should be really noticing is the focal length change, but I am noticing some color shift when we go over to the wide angle lens. So if I'm taking a picture of Gogeta here, so this is the 2x zoom, then when this is the regular, once we go here, you notice a lot more yellow and green gets introduced. You guys can see it gets cleared up when you go closer in. Needless to say, I'm really liking the versatility of having 3 cameras on my phone. Presently, I carry around my Pixel and some Moment lenses, but I think I'm gonna be able to stop doing that now and just kind of focus on the phone that's currently in my pocket. And after taking all of those pictures, it was finally time to start cleaning. So I gotta talk about this. Now, I know I'm supposed to be cleaning, yeah, whatever. But right here, I'm trying to make a post on Instagram, took a cool picture of the new iPhone. Now, I wanted to go ahead and type a caption, but something I'm used to doing is moving my cursor around by using 3D touch, which is no longer a thing. So that kind of hurts. Now, if you wanna access that kind of feature, you gotta hold down the space bar, which, does not work in Google. So I guess the only way I'll have access to that feature is by using the regular Apple keyboard, hitting the space bar, and then moving it around like that. It is what it is. Kind of sucks to lose 3D touch. That was a feature I used a lot. I don't know, it just feels a little old school after I've been introduced to the good life, but it is what it is. All right, guys, so we did a pretty decent job of cleaning. You know, the area is not too bad. So I figured right now we'll probably just go stop for a bit, get some lunch. And it's interesting, using this phone to do like everyday tasks like ordering something to eat online. Without a case, I gotta tell you guys, this phone is more slippery than like something like the iPhone 10 or 10s. The glass back would create some nice friction in the hand. You can feel the friction. If you guys can see, my finger will move around very easily like this. But once I get to the logo, you see that? It's like, it doesn't move so easily. But if you have it on like a regular surface, let's say something like a desk like this, you don't actually have to worry about it slipping around. Oh, and since here's a little bit cleaned up, you know, you can kind of get a sneak peek for this area. This is going to be the gaming TV area. You know, we'll talk more about it in the full video, but some of the furniture pieces you guys already saw, like the display case for the Gundam. We got these awesome couches from Article. Let me tell you guys, it took me forever to find a couch like this. I wanted a particular kind of material and I searched forever and ever, and Article was one of the only sites that actually had what I was looking for. They were cool enough to send it out for the man cave, so huge shout out to them. No, they're not sponsoring this video or anything, but they sent it out, so I gotta give them some love. So food is here, and we're just kind of chilling for a bit before we head over to Best Buy so that we could buy a couple of things for the man cave. And I decided I'd throw on a movie real quick. So we got Spider-Man Homecoming over here. Now, obviously the screen looks really great, but something that's new here, the iPhones have supported Dolby Atmos in the past, but Apple has introduced this new thing called spatial audio. And with the spatial audio, you can really hear things going on around you. Obviously, that's supposed to be the whole point of Dolby Atmos, but spatial audio is going to work with a few more things. And I say all this to say, guys, when you're watching certain movies and everything, it sounds really good. You really do feel like there are things happening on the left that come around to the right. And for this speaker setup, like, you can't get mad. This thing gets plenty loud, and with that effect, it's awesome. And I gotta say, guys, Apple's Super XDR Retina display looks amazing. It's a nice OLED panel that gets plenty bright, nice and vibrant. So watching stuff on this is always a joy. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who likes to use the speakers on your iPhone, you're gonna be pretty impressed with the quality that you get out of these, especially with that spatial audio. But we couldn't sit around and watch movies all day. We had to plan out what we were doing next with the room and then head over to Best Buy to pick up a few things. All right, guys, so in Best Buy, obviously, and we are in the lighting section because, you know, we had to get some lights for the basement. Now, the whole idea of the basement is to not have a ton of different RGB stuff going on, but it doesn't hurt to have the option, so I'll pick up some extra light strips. Look at this section. This section is crazy colorful. You get this like Fisher-Price toy with multiple colors. And one like this. It's actually not bad. It's definitely sharp, lots of detail. Some of these are overexposed, like this little light bulb over here, but like, honestly, if you look at it, I think it's bright. I'm happy with this. This is a good shot. All right, y'all, so we are done with Best Buy, and the sun is crazy right now. Might as well see what the, oh, you heard that voice crack? We might as well see what the maximum brightness is like, because this phone actually goes up to 800 nits of brightness. So let's see what maximum brightness looks like in the sun. Not that I've ever had an issue seeing my phone in the sun, but oh man. Oh yeah. You're seeing everything clear as day here. Direct sunlight. Jay, you got your 10? Let's see. Yeah, the 10 is fine too. The screens, these OLED screens are just fine in the sun, not even gonna lie. But even though this is 800 nits, I forget what this is. This is higher. They honestly both look just fine. All right, guys, so we're back home. And before the sun goes down, I wanted to get some of that video work in, and we've got the perfect subject over here, Cookie Monster, who is running away. Let's get a little recording action in 4K. Cookie, hey. Oh, that's a good girl. Shake, that's a good girl. Shake, hey, that's a good girl. Give 5. Yeah, bang, bang. Ah, that's my girl. Come here, give me 5. Ah, that's what I like. That's what I like. Let's see how legit the stabilization is. Come on, Cookie. Oh. All right, Jay, so let's check out the fruits of our labor here. Oh man, that looks really crisp. Wow, the detail on her ears. Wow, that looks amazing. Yo, Apple is doing something when it comes to video, man. Wow, you guys see it for yourselves. This quality is crazy that we're getting it from a smartphone. And this is to be expected, I feel like, because Apple seems like they put a lot into this year's cameras. And when it comes to the photos and videos, it really, really shows. Ari, you're gonna love this. Now, what I love is that with iOS 13, after you shoot an awesome video, you can actually go ahead and edit it right inside of the Photos app, which is just mind-blowing. Being able to tweak color and lighting inside of the regular Photos app is a huge time saver. You won't need any third-party apps. I think for content creators or anybody who just likes to mess around with video for social media is really gonna be able to appreciate the tools that Apple have provided here. But be on the lookout for that little video of Cookie on her Instagram page. I'll have it linked down below in the description. And while we're on the topic of video, something that's really awesome is if you need to get a video recorded quickly, you can just jump into the camera and hold down the shutter button and it'll automatically start recording video, kind of like Instagram and Snapchat. And if you want to lock the video in and not hold it down, you can just swipe over to the right. And for those of you wondering about burst photos, all you have to do is swipe over to the left and you've got it there. Okay guys, so we've been using the basement today to get some shooting done. And as you guys can see, this is a really low light situation. And we still got our girl Cookie over here. And it's crazy because we were taking some night photos of Cookie and Jay and I were really impressed. So if you want to take a night photo, when the camera senses that it's really dark, you'll notice that there's a little icon that pops up in the top left corner next to the flash, and it'll indicate how long you need to wait to get a pretty decent shot off. And you can actually click on that and you can actually send it over to get the maximum amount of time it recommends for a really good shot. So right here it's saying 3 seconds. And check this out, Cookie, down, down, good girl. So let's see if we can get a nice shot of her. Oh, Cookie, did you mess that up? No, you didn't. Yo, check this out, guys. Look at the amount of detail and sharpness that you get from a photo like this. Now with a regular photo, no night mode, we can turn that. Hey, what you scratching for? Without that feature on, look at the difference, guys. Still a pretty decent photo. It's dark though. Wow. So night photos aren't anything new, but it's just really cool to see it on the iPhone, and the fact that it works really well has me really impressed. And as you guys can see, night mode works really well, and I love the fact that it's automatic, because if you're not really thinking about your lighting situation, this thing's gonna have your back regardless. And what's cool is that you can even add some more time to the night mode so that if you wanna get a really nice shot off, or if it's really dark, you're gonna be able to get way more than you could with a regular photo. Again, not a new feature, but I think the iPhone pulls it off really well. All right, so it's 8:30 p.m. and we've got about 4% of battery left. So it's time to finally charge it, and I believe we have about 6 hours and 20 minutes of screen on time. That is extremely, extremely impressive. I know some people get like 3 years of screen on time and 4 centuries of screen on time. Listen, for us regular folks, 6 hours is really good. So I'm gonna plug this in with the fast charger that it came with finally. And in 30 minutes, it should be at around 50%. The claim is that 30 minutes of charging gets you up to 50%. So we'll see. It's this perfect timing actually, because we can just check at 9 o'clock and see how it goes. All right, y'all. So it is 9:04, whatever. Let's see what we got. Hey, 55%. Check that out. So the claims are real. 30 minutes gets you 50% juice. People are going to be thrilled to finally have fast charging right out of the box, and man, it's a good look, Apple. Finally. So it's cool that this phone is powerful enough to handle video editing and all that kind of stuff. But what really shows off the power of the A13, I think, is augmented reality and the fact that you can just use it in regular everyday games like Angry Birds. So check this out. I can actually move around with the phone and you guys can see my house is right here. It's cool because you can do things like aim and target certain areas. Oops, that was a fail. Oh, I'm right in front of a house, that's why. So I can go ahead and do things like this, hit that right in front of me, and still walk around, like back here, target this guy. So for me, the fact that this experience is so smooth is really telling on how powerful this is, but let's be real, guys. While Angry Birds is dope, ain't nothing like playing some Gundam. I've been playing this Gundam game for a while now, and this has been my biggest time killer for the past few weeks. I definitely don't recommend it if you love Gundam and you like to be productive. So it's getting pretty late. We have a bunch of other videos to work on still, so I can't even say I'm going to bed, but I am gonna call it a night for this real day in the life. Now, just a quick overall wrap up of how I feel about this phone. I love it. It's very much the same experience from previous iPhones. So if you had like a 10 or a 10S, you're gonna have a very, very familiar experience, but with just some real improvements. You're gonna get faster Face ID. Throughout my day using Face ID, I definitely felt like it got a lot faster. They say about 30%. Obviously, the camera is a no-brainer. Impeccable video capabilities with this guy. Night shot is great. Overall, the fact that it has the ultra wide angle lens is just a much, much nicer camera experience. And honestly, there are just like a lot of little tweaks and upgrades that make this an overall worthy successor to the 10S. Is it worth upgrading? For someone like me who's a content creator, if photos matter to you by any means, absolutely, hands down. This is one of the best cameras on the market, if not the best. We'll have to wait until we see what Google comes out with the Pixel, of course. But right now, this is probably the camera I'm enjoying the most. And I am glad I no longer need something like a Moment lens to get that ultra wide angle lens. I have it all right here, and I'm pretty stoked about that. But that about wraps it up for my video, guys. Let me know what you think. If you have a 10 or a 10S, is this something that's gonna draw you in? Let me know with a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace.